And so I'm just so happy that North by Northeast chose our film to be in this festival. We're very honored about that, and we're also so happy about all the press that we got as well. And we have a really great publicity team, and one of our team is here, Johnny. And so, yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you for responding warmly.
Anything? Well, actually, I'm going to ask John. John was emotionally wrought most of the evening from what I saw. And, how did you like watching the film?
Well, it's been a long process, and obviously it's 3.5 years ago now. But it was just an amazing, the way that Serbs greeted Rob and the whole production crew. It was an amazing experience, and it's to me it's just something that is it's an experience of a lifetime. I was actually on the episode of Entourage, but not really Entourage. It was but yeah,
What was it like? I mean, you remember the experience for the rest of your life out there, but what was it like watching the film?
Watching the film, though,
This is the first time you've got to
well,
see it.
yeah, I haven't seen the whole compilation put together, but it's such it's a beautiful story. I think it's just wonderfully done, and it makes my heart cry.
The Serbians, they're so big, but they're so in that Eastern European way, so very sentimental and heartfelt.
And he's every bit of it.
I saw that last night.
Yeah, extraordinary film. I want to see it again, and I want to show my friends this movie. So how?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Distributor calling.
For only $19.95.
Rob will sign it too.
Hey.
Am I interrupting? I had not a question, but a statement.
Oh, make
okay.
Mea culpa. Lisa, I apologize that I missed your film. I had to see my family off this morning,
Not a
and
problem.
I've heard such great things about it, and I'm very anxious to see it.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, which brings us back to Chris's question, actually.
How do we see it?
How do we
see it?
Okay.
How do we see it?
We don't have distribution yet. We're working on a strategy for that. But we have an amazing website designed by Steve Bonick, who's sitting over there. And it's slaughternickmovie.com. It's fairly easy, but if you Google it Slaughternick, or if you're on Facebook, you'll find us there, and then you can go to slaughternickmovie.com. And we have an email list that you can sign up for. And in the coming months, we're going to keep people on that list apprised of screenings in your town. Available for digital download, DVDs available, all that kind of stuff. Once we get that all worked out, but this is the buzz building.
Babbling.
I'm not very good with late nights at all.
Just let me tell you. 6 months of editing.
A year.
Or a year.
We have a question in the back.
I just, first of all, I want to congratulate you all. I just loved the movie. It was just so inspiring.
Thank you.
And something that I thought was very interesting, I saw a parallel because I don't remember the name of the gentleman, but the gentleman who decided to choose tropical heat as opposed to bay water.
Robert Nemechek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Nick Slaughter is more the ordinary man, and so people could identify with it. And then your words at the end, Rob, where you said that every life has meaning, and that we may not know how we're going to affect people. It may just be one person, and 20 years later. I really like the way that you ended that, because for those of us who are not actors, we may not, be famous in some country, but those words are inspiring because we can affect someone or some people in our lives here.
I teared up at that point too.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's what Lisa, God bless her, put in at the end to her father, who passed away just before we started making the film, and my sister, who passed away just after we got back. And her thing was random acts of kindness. I don't know if you saw the dedication at the end, but that's kind of part of it too. She would do random acts of kindness just for the hell of it, because it was right. And so and you never know, you know. It's a kind of a daunting thing to say, just by being kind to a stranger, I could affect a life. It's Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Sorry, no,
I just had a
I saw her right
I was
away.
working, I was so hungover. How you doing? I was supposed to wear my shirt.
This is
but you
one
didn't.
of Rob's number one fans right here.
Oh, I got, honestly, I haven't no
I
time.
want you
I
to
forgot.
sign it.
I'll sign
Your number
her
one
breasts.
fan found.
That's just, thank you for coming. Thank you so much. We've been Facebook friends for a little while. That was funny. I'm just like, that's her. Yeah, that's exactly what I got.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Sorry.
Sorry, you got it.
We'll get to your question in a minute.
Of course I can sign it. We'll get you a little Sharpie here.
That's Yasna, and Yasna was our translator.
Yes.
We've had a lot of children here.
You thinking of a follow-up, Lisa, Rob, to the movie? Another 3-year
Well,
project?
this
He's
is
gonna have to
actually-
adopt another brother.
I would, Lisa, remember the Peru story?
the Peru story. It's actually ripe to do a TV series about like a guy like Rob, and you know there's talk about that. I mean, to me this is a one-off documentary, and there, that's basically it. But you know,
We had at some point, yeah, we had all thought about doing a reality show. It was, I think Mark wanted to call it. There's 2 titles he had. One was National Hero. The other was International Asshole. We were having a fight about that one. And the other one, what was the other one? But anyway, the idea was the famous in Serbia stuck in suburbia.
the tagline.
Yeah.
Good one.
It was like Pinky in the Brain, where we're just all our art. He's just basically trying to get out of Brampton.
But their next, I mean, your next task is gonna be the distribution treadmill.
That's right. That's right. But as you have to do in this business, and Ambrose will tell you, being a longtime producer and with many fingers and many pies.
He's got 10.
Yeah, I'm already involved in very early stages of developing something else with one of my other team members on this film. So there are always things percolating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and this, I probably forgot to mention it, this is the world premiere, the screenings here at North by Northeast this year, so they've been putting up in insane and wonderful amounts of effort into helping prop up their screenings at our festival, and, you know, they made us look really good, let me tell you. And the next hurdle is like the festival circuit, like you're gonna, you know, distributions even, like.
That's even a little farther down the road.
further
We have to
down
be
the road.
strategic about the festivals that we try to get into, and I have a consultant that I'm working with who's guiding me on that. And it's a steep learning curve, because I've never executive produced a film before, but I'm taking it on with gusto.
You got a PhD now.
I do, well, not yet, but
Because PhD.
working on it, but there's so much to this business. It's fascinating, and it's competitive, and it's stressful, and it drives you crazy, but.
Amen.
Something that touched me about the film, and I'm not really in the biz or anything, but being a sentimental type person, maybe like the Serbians, is I'm very proud of being Canadian. And I'm very proud of our Canadian past as peacekeepers. And in the past few years, with the war on terrorism and whatnot, and being dragged into that, and post 9/11 and all that, I think our identity as Canadians has been tarnished somewhat as far as the peacekeeping thing goes. And this just warmed my heart, because you are bringing that back again. I think that's a very good, perhaps marketing tool.
Ambassadors.
But it's true, like it really, you
And
guys
bringing peace in
inspired
such an
peace
eccentric
just-
way.
Yes.
One of the funny
It's-
things, and didn't make it into the final cut, and I think it's probably the right idea, because this was a really positive film. There's no need to open that can of worms, but Canada dropped 10% of the bombs on civilian areas in Belgrade. Like, we ran 10% of those sorties. So, and our own ambassador, James Bissett, was completely against our country's decision. He was there in Serbia, and was like, you guys are making this up. They threw them under the bus with CBC, CNN. And Mackenzie, the guy that led the troops there, he completely disagreed with NATO's version of it, the UN's version of it. So there's a lot of controversy as to our involvement in that one. And this was a good thing, like, we went over there, the four of us. And that was the first thing we said when we went over there, was like, we'll tell your story, right? At least show that your people, like, it's not, okay, you had a dictator, whatever, but these people are good, and like, just try to show the positive, bright side of it. And also, but it was also our little redemption too, because we dropped the bombs on them, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even know if Canadian people know that.
they
Right?
don't,
No, they don't.
I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
I want to make a bit of an aside with, this is Janice and Roy.
Hi,
And,
Janice.
Janice helped out with transcripts for the film. And also,
It was fun taping the concert.
Shit show, yeah.
but also, they were part of our test audience as well. And so, and it's interesting that you're talking about the Canadiana aspect of it, because I affectionately called you Mr. and Mrs. Canada. Because when I tested things with you, like, you guys are Mr. and Mrs. Canada to me, you know what I mean?
Well,
So,
coming from a military background too, my family's
Yeah.
always been in the military. My dad fought in the Second World War as an air pilot, and my nephew's in the military now, retired police officer now in Toronto. But, yeah, the peacekeeping thing is really, I mean, I was really
We have to keep that sacred and clean.
Yeah, because that's what the world respects about Canada, is their peacekeeping, you know? And we always were peacekeepers until just recently, and that changing, everything's changing, and the world is changing so fast, and Canada is changing so fast, and it is a really positive thing, and it's just heartwarming.
And the other thing is, I think a movie like this, where you're talking about people. There's no politics involved, it's just, it's the four of us and the people we met there, and that's it. And we didn't actually drop the
That's the
bombs,
thing,
and you
it's the
didn't actually
leaders,
do
yeah,
the,
And we-
countries that
yeah.
represent.
Exactly, so
and
you
it's
get
not
that
the
feeling that
people,
we're all
you
good
know?
people all over the
Exactly.
world.
Absolutely.
I'd love to, Lisa and I went to Rome, 2 weeks after we got back, with that was a fun edit session. So we had 6 minutes, I think, of promo there as a work in progress in the Roma Fiction Fest. And then we did the speed pitches to places after that. And we actually had the balls to pitch to Croatia. Remember that? And it was a really positive response we got from it.
although as she sat there watching the promo, she was kind of stone-faced, and we were sitting there nervously going,
Bad call,
but
bad call.
then she did respond positively, so
Yeah.
that was.
And we wanted to see that, because that was the whole point, is not to be, you're right, it was just like,
A
well,
lot of times it's the leaders that draw
Yeah.
other people into these wars that they don't wanna be involved in. Like
Exactly.
even my father, when he was fighting against the Germans, and ironically, I ended up marrying a German, and I'm sure my father probably won't.
he was happy about that.
But I mean, it's the everyday people, like in the movie The
Yeah.
War.
Don't
Wars,
mention the
everybody's
war.
talking-
I did once, but I think I got away with it.
Yeah.
You know, Salty Towers.
Oh,
Yeah.
who's that? I can't see a thing, it's amazing.
Paula?
Here. Atheist Rap, what's happening with them now?
We would love to have flown them over, but Rajali will not fly, and he's terrified of flying. The lead guitarist, right? Yeah, he will not fly, but it would have been nice, and Lisa tried to set up a thing for me to go back and play with them
You're
this
still
week,
gonna do
right?
that? Well, yeah, this week. Like,
You're
okay,
both,
it's,
I'm both,
the
yeah.
film is premiering today in Serbia at an international film festival there in Novi Sad called Cinema City. And we were trying desperately to get Rob over there. We didn't have money. We couldn't get. This is another challenge of indie filmmaking when you're not tapped into the government trough right from the beginning, which we couldn't because the timelines were so tight. We didn't even have time to apply for telefilm or any of that kind of stuff. So we just started going about cobbling together private funding. I'm in debt a lot of money myself personally, and it's crazy. But we couldn't get funding for Rob to get back over there for the premiere, and he had to book himself on a TV show. Then finally we got a corporate sponsor who said they were willing, but it was too late. And
Then I
so
was
it was,
booked on a show.
it's just one thing after another. Anyway, Atheist Rap is going, hopefully, they were trying to get them to be at the screening today. Just because Rob did a video message, a greeting for that screening, and the program director was trying to get Atheist Rap to go to, so at least they could do a Q&A or, welcome people and stuff like that. But eventually, I think that we will get back and we will do another follow-up.
have to, yeah.
But Atheist Rock, they have a career. They're still out there touring and, making records and stuff like that, and so, they're great.
Yeah, they're awesome guys,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw the scene with his father, that's his father, gasoline. It's just awesome.
Oh yeah, when you were talking about politics in Canada and Serbia, it just made me think. Like you see the Serbian people head to the streets to protest like a stolen election, and then they win and it's all great. And Harper steals an election through like robocalls and
Bush stole one in Florida.
and why don't we care so much?
That's an excellent question.
Canadians are
I think
complacent.
myself included.
Listen,
I
the
hate
best
it, but I can touch it.
propaganda is the propaganda where you don't know it's propaganda. If you look at Pravda or something like that, and when the Soviet Union was up and running, everybody knew they were getting fed, state-run messages. When you get soft propaganda, and you get the Toronto Star and the Sun, and we're a free country. I'm not complaining. Grandfather fought in 2 world wars and smacked me in the head. But there's a sense of complacency and unjustified trust in the message. And we're all busy, we're all trying to make a living, we got kids and stuff like that, and it's like, how many people really dig through the headlines?
Right.
That's what happened when the
Well, they
war
seem
ran.
to be really tied into what's really important in life, and each other, and maybe we're disconnected a bit.
Yeah, and it's a shame with the this whole project came because of globalization and interconnectedness, right? We found it on Facebook about a country 1,000 miles away. So that's hopeful in a way. You would hope that people on the internet would be like when when the Americans start grinding the propaganda machine, say, Syria this, then they start. You can feel the war machine when they compare him to Hitler, boots on the ground, right? It's a fairly standard pattern that you get, and. That you're right. I think the important thing is to get people more and more connected so that you see it's the people actually don't want this. Whatever the TV is saying to you, the people don't want that.
Well, your film's
They can look each
a
other
part
in
of
the eyes.
that. Your film's a part of that. I think bring people together.
I felt honored to be able to tell the other side of the story of the Serbians because, what we were getting, they were given a bad rap. They were maligned on the world stage. People thought that the whole country was behind Milosevic.
Yeah, because you think it's a dangerous country.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
People are just beautiful.
Yeah, really
But
nice.
and also, remember at the To Be Punk Festival?
Yeah.
That girl I was talking to, the little girl,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, when I was a little
Oh.
baby,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
Croatian. Her dad's Croatian and follows Rajley all over the place. That punk band
I did not know
completely
that.
transformed. I'm glad you kept that thing with, I used to call him
Bogdan. Pachinko.
Al Pachinko.
Yeah. That's one of that is, to
That's
me,
the message, yeah.
that is the message. There are a lot of beautiful lines of dialogue in there spoken by Rob, but one of the most powerful ones is spoken by the organizer of the festival, who
Yes.
says, music and ideas are unstoppable.
Yes.
And I think that is like the sweet spot, right?
Yeah, and that's not an idea. He does it. Like that punk festival, had Croatians, they had Bosnians, Macedonians. So all the people that were involved in those wars, the music, they don't care. They're musicians, and that's.
Well, I don't understand why did that country all become separate countries, like.
Oh, you don't even,
That's-
let's
If
make
I
it
start,
start.
we don't have time for
I don't I've been following it for these years and I can't even understand. I mean, it's ancient, it's,
It's so
and
ingrained.
complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like Canada, all becoming different provinces, becoming different countries.
That's what they said to us. Remember, that's
So
what we used to
weird.
say. It's like
That would
Quebec
be weird.
suddenly
Yeah.
saying that,
Yeah.
They're gonna do what
what
they
they're
do.
going to do. Yeah.
You have a question?
I really enjoyed the movie, and it was a very positive, heartwarming story. And I'm wondering, was that sort of a conscious decision on your part? Because I thought, on the other hand, this whole Slaughterfest thing would have been a time almost of natural reflection back to those days. And some of the interviews with the Serbians, they're saying that, listen, it was actually really, really bad. They seemed very happy to see you, but the things,
But it was like,
the horrors that were going on, I'm thinking this is, 10, 15 years after the fact. And if this becomes a national phenomenon, guess who's back? Nick Slaughter. Did you ever encounter that as you went along?
There was one cartoon, that's a very perceptive observation, but there was only one. It could have gone that way in a heartbeat. Like, had we stumbled when we were there, had I been an asshole, or something had been, if anything negative had happened, it could have turned that way, because it was bringing up these memories. The way it ended up with the whole country was that it brought up the hardship, but they appreciated they had come through it, and it was a good feeling in the end. Do you know what I mean? And they were appreciative of the comfort blanket that was tropical heat. That's what got them
Your show
through it.
what got them through it.
So
That's
it all stayed completely 100% positive. There was one comic strip about 3 weeks after we came home. It was just after we got back from home. And they had a cartoon of a bread line, and it said unemployment, lack of food, next slaughter. Remind you of anything? And it was the idea, but there was a comment, it wasn't a slam on us, there was a comment on the economy's getting bad again. It was a slam against Tadic that he's taking us back to and Nick was just the reminder of that time.
Right.
So that bordered on it
And, yeah, it's just saying that Nick as a symbol is associated with.
with both,
Yeah.
but they chose the positive. And that wasn't just us, culling the positive things, that was the whole country.
That was them, and, yeah.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question here, then we have to move out, but I'm sure you guys are all
Is
willing
that
to.
Cameron there? How you doing, kiddo?
They met yesterday.
Barely awake, but she's here.
Yeah,
You're up late too.
partying like a 13-year-old, huh?
Influence will line.
Any more questions for now, or do you want to save they'll all hang around in the lobby and talk to you forever if you have a very complicated question, and,
Beer.
and another question. Well, let me just thank Lisa again for being the greatest. And we'll just head out to the hallway, and if you have questions that you would not dare ask in here, you can certainly ask.